So let's do here a first presentation. First of all, my name is Ricardo, Paula from ALC Dance Studios. We are professional dancers. We manage a company connected to dance, and we also create this training that we call KTT, Kizomba Teachers Training, that we share a step-by-step to teach all the techniques and all the tools that we developed during more than 20 years to other instructors be able to teach Kizomba, also any part of the world. So we decided to create this podcast that we call KTT Talks, in order that we invite our beautiful and dear students from all over the world to have here a nice chat conversation, really relaxed, in order that we can know a little bit more about them. What are they doing? What is their background? And also to understand why they decided to attend our training, what they were trying to find, what they found in fact, and what are they doing nowadays, and maybe also to create here a small coaching session where we're gonna do an extra push to new projects in the future. And today we have here Alena, that is from Bulgaria, although she made the training with us in Italy. How are you, Alena?
I'm perfect. I'm honored, to be honest, because you are my mentors. You're the ones I can say, together with Quenda, maybe already more than 10 years ago, you started, and the sparkle of and the love of Kizomba in my place.
So good. Let's talk a little bit about you before. So
Okay.
let us know, first of all, what was your studies? In what field you were studying before you had the dancer in your life? When you were a kid, what were you expecting to be in the future?
Well, I was pretty active since I was small. My first love was figure skating, and
figure skating.
Yes.
So nice. That's good. Yes. So good.
Yes, I started with figure skating, and I had a very small injury. It wasn't quite a big one, but my mother was scared, and she said, stop, no more figure skating. And so I was supposed to quit. And I trained for about 2-3 years, maybe, and I did dance couple. I wasn't that into the acrobatics, but we were forced to learn the jumps and other stuff in the beginning, but it was dancing since then. And after this short break, which I had to take because of my knee, I started with aerobics, like I think Paula.
Yes.
Yeah, and I loved it because I couldn't stay still. I was pretty active since really I was born. And after aerobics, Kalanetics, step aerobic, and I don't know what else came out.
The entire package.
Yeah. But dancing, I was missing dancing, so I went to the ballroom scene, and I did 2 years of ballroom dancing. And
everything in Sofia.
Yeah, this ballroom dancing and aerobics were in Sofia because I'm half German, half Bulgarian, and I spent the time figure skating. I started in Germany, then continued in Bulgaria. And afterwards, with the ballroom dancing, I started studying in the University of Sofia in Bulgaria. And
what were you studying?
German language and literature, German studies. Yeah. I wanted to study something else, like tourism or international relations. But at that time, because of my degree from high school, I was not accepted in the university because I had humanitarian profile. So I was missing some courses, and they said I cannot study. I did some entry tests, but couldn't make it. So I went on the secure side with German language. And I had to quit then, make a short break because I got my son at that time, pretty young. And after this, after 5 years, I came back to dancing, and I started with salsa, bachata, as usual. And then we met Gwenda. It was back in, I think, 2009 or 2010. And a very good friend of mine, Garo, I think you know.
Yes, of course.
Yes, he lighted the sparkle of Kizomba first, and he took me on the first festival. It was in Belgrade, in Serbia, where I met you, and this was it.
Oh, nice.
I still remember Paula's lady styling lesson from Belgrade. It was just like doing the butt stuff and the bunda stuff, explaining that it should be smooth like butter. It's
Like,
still in my head. So I use it quite often in my lessons now.
It works.
Yes, it perfectly works, definitely. And
but
so,
did you work in the area that you were studying or not?
no, not at all. Because, well, I do teach now, but dance teacher is something different than a school teacher. And school teacher wasn't my thing. I tried, but it wasn't. So I had my own company, I did trade, and I had a shop. I'm talking in past tense because due to Corona crisis, I had to quit.
Yeah.
What kind of shop it was?
It was for wrapping paper
Okay.
and bundles, yeah. I was importing stuff from Italy. That's why I have Italy also in my heart.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Beautiful. So you start dancing very young. It was a part of your life, very important. But you started working also. In what moment you decided also to share your love with others and start teaching also as a part of your life, dance teaching?
It was maybe 12 or 13 years ago, because for me, I tried to get perfectionist, to be perfect. And it wasn't, I didn't have this self-confidence that I can teach, because everybody told me, no, you're dancing very good, you can start teaching. And I said, no, I don't feel comfortable at all at the moment. So I've waited to be confident. I had a partner at that time, and we were the first ones to start teaching Kizomba in Sofia.
Let me stop you there because I have curiosity with that, because this is a point in common with a lot of people, but I would like to know your opinion. What were you expecting to have to gain some confidence to start teaching? What were like the criteria, like a checklist almost, that I would need this, I would need that, I would need that in order that I can start teaching?
It was the part was the self-confidence is to know, to master first all the steps, the dance, just to try. I tried in small groups, let's say with part of the group which I attended at that time, and I was partnering up only to my partner. I wasn't teaching at that time, he was teaching, but I was his partner. And shortly I saw some tutorials as well, and the person who pushed me and gave me confidence was my ballroom teacher, because I was talking to him, I was taking lessons, private lessons as well, even though it wasn't salsa or bachata. I just wanted to continue also a little bit with ballroom dancing. And the idea came up just to start teaching. And I had a lot of talks with him, a lot of conversations. He told me a lot of things because this was his profession. And he pushed me and said, at some point, you're ready, you can start. But it was for me, again, it wasn't that convenient. And I've waited, I think it was half a year more. And actually, I started teaching, really teaching, shortly before we started practicing Kizomba. I started teaching salsa and bachata. And so it came up. This was the thing, to be confident, because even with Kizomba, it took me 1.5 years before I started teaching. It's really, I'm like this. I have to master it first.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
So that is related more or less in the same way. So you had salsa bachata, you need to get confidence. You then mix kizomba, you need to get confidence. So your process is more or less the same. But
Yeah.
do you think that self-confidence comes more from the inside or about the approval of others? Because in that situation, you need to have that extra push from your ballroom teacher. And in somehow it was like an approval from a third person to give you the personal self-confidence to go forward.
It was, let's say, I would say in this point, the first thing, because I did aerobics, I showed and so on. I was confident, but with the dancing, because it's more technique, I think you should be able to break down not only the steps, all the feeling to transmit it. So it's more like inner voice related than the approval of a third person, because people were telling me, no, you can, why don't you do it? Look, the other people are doing it. I said, no, I need first to break it down. I need to understand it so I'm able to explain it to you, because it's one thing that you show a step, people do it and they repeat it, but they don't understand what is behind this, what is the feeling. And this is more or less my inner self.
So true, so true. So let's go a little bit to the KTT. That decision that you had of attending our Kizomba Teachers Training, it was in that period of 1.5 years, or it was after you already start teaching?
It was shortly after I started teaching. I wanted to attend the first one, which I saw in Porto, but as Sofia and Porto are pretty far away.
Yeah, and the connections are not good and the travels are expensive.
Yeah, at that time it was pretty expensive, and that's why I grabbed this offer. When I saw it in Italy, I said, no, I'll go, because Italy is like here, 1 hour flight, and it were regular flights at that time. I think even I came by car, if I'm not, no, I was flying at that time. But as I was traveling a lot, Italy was pretty easy for me. And it was really important because I loved the structure you had. I saw it even on congresses and where we met, because we were traveling really a lot and meeting a lot and taking a lot of lessons. And it's about style and about structure of lesson. And what I liked in your classes was the structure. Really, at that time even. So I said, I have to do this. I have to do it the same way, because it's nice structured. I didn't like the choreographies, because in my opinion, especially even nowadays, I tell all my students, they won't get a choreography from me. They won't get any figure, anything. They will get only the basic elements so they can connect and adapt to the music, especially.
And for that, you can have a specific group of students. You can create a choreographic team show, and like that, you can have choreographic movements. Yeah.
The same now I'm having is where I escape is my other love is bachata. So salsa moved a little bit back. I don't have time for it. But it was another dream coming true, because I did the first touch team in Bulgaria. So I'm authorized, the only one authorized to teach Taka and Talamana style and their choreographies. So I'm doing a choreography class. And this is the thing which is different, really, and something else.
Do you remember, so you said that you were trying to find structure, mainly because you already knew us, you already had a contact with us in festivals, but this training, it's mainly directed to create a program for regular lessons. And the way of teaching in a workshop, although you need to have a structure, it's a different approach from a structure of teaching regular students that will be with you every week. and you were trying to find more depth because you want to have your base students there in Sofia. So structure was one thing that you were trying to find. Do you remember anything else that you wanted also to find in a training like KTT?
The KTT training was important because it gave also more knowledge about Kizomba, not only the dance, because music comes first, and it was very interesting. All the background, where, how, who, and so on, which it was pretty new, and I still remember the confusion about
The musicality.
All the sounds. So we were just trying to guess the Tarashinya and so on. I still remember it. So, and I remember your words. So if we are confused, so we're on the right path. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. So nice.
Good. So structure, style, the knowledge, that knowledge, it was something, what you are talking about, of the things above the dance. So not only the things connected to dance, but also the history, the musicality. It was something, if I understood good, that was an extra. You were not counting with that and you collect that, or you were trying to find that also.
I was trying to find that also. And if I remember correctly, it was written like a resume of the KTT training, what will come. And when I saw it, I said, I have to go there, definitely. And no matter what, so we took this opportunity, a chance at that time with my partner to come. He wasn't that convinced that he is good to go, but I pushed him.
Good for you.
and how he felt?
Well, he was just like, wow. He was just really wow. And from that time on, he was just like, this is perfect. This is my style. This is.
And so, yeah, if I remember good, he had like a very strict face. He looked like a tough guy, but he's like a teddy bear. He's really a nice guy. But the first impact is really like one badass man. But in fact, he's really a nice person, and I have good memories of talking with him. Now, from the things that you were not expecting, do you remember something that you were not expecting to receive from the training, and after the training you said, this was a nice plus that I was not counting with this?
I don't have something like this in my memories, because I was so open-minded, and I was just like a small child who wants to know everything and receives and becomes right now. Please
connected to that, this is something that I always try to pray to the people, is that, of course, we need to bring to ourselves the most number of tools that we can have in order that we can answer faster to the situations that appear in front of us. That's why we go to the school, we go to the university to get all the theory. But in fact, the theory doesn't make us ready to go to the real world. We need to spend through a period of transition. And you are talking about the need that you have to get more self-confidence, to receive more material, to know how to break down the things. And we need to spend that process. But then after, we are placed in the real world where we have our first group of students and we need to deal with the situation. And you were saying that you already had some experience teaching because you were teaching already salsa and bachata, and you already start a group of students in Kizomba. And only after you went to the training. What happened in that moment? Did you change immediately something you tried? What you learned? What were the difference? Do you have some insights of that?
Yes, I have, and I will share it, because I could change completely my approach and my training, because it was just like the lessons and the basics that you give. Because for me, I love my beginners groups. These are the groups which I do love most, and I love spending time with them, and just not, I'm pushing them as well, but I'm telling that we need to, if you are building a house, you need a solid ground. So basically for me, this level, this teachers level 1, and all the steps and the structure is really this basic and perfect ground. I adapted it myself. I added something for sure in the upcoming years, but it was just like after when I came back, I said stop. I just stopped immediately because it was a little bit chaotic. What comes before next and so on. So basically, it was really life-changing.
So good, so good. So something that I always have an interest to know, it's what was the thing that, because usually when you do an investment of time and investment on money, there are things that you are expecting, but there are other things that you are not expecting, and usually there is like
A highlight.
some degrees of interest. And for example, one thing that I know that most of the students of KTT doesn't use are the warm-ups, because they don't like, so by consequence they don't use the warm-ups with the students, with the Funana, Afro House, Coupé de Calais. So this is something that we know that most of people don't use. Some of them use because they like it, and others doesn't like for themselves, so they don't use with the students. But there are some things that we know that usually people push up more. So you said already that was the structure, of course, knowing what to do each lesson. But do you remember something like, without thinking too much, this thing, it was something that I still use nowadays?
The still use nowadays are the structure in the beginning of the lessons. I still, to be honest, I do the funana. The
Okay.
other thing is the other style performance. I don't like that much. But I adapt it as we don't have a special, and it's in our country. Let's say it's difficult to get people for samba. I don't know why, but people are not afraid, but they don't know samba that much. I try to make it popular, and that's why I'm doing a samba warm-up.
Yeah.
So I push them just to fall in love also with samba, and that's why I'm changing sometimes punana, sometimes samba. Sometimes I'm playing also what I invented for myself. I am taking like a Sheeran song or another artist which have more or less, let's say, a Kizomba rhythm. So I'm showing them that it's quite possible to manage also to other styles to do it. But this is like an exception, and these are things what I do. But from without thinking, it is like starting with the basic and doing the first 8 counts.
Nice. Let me ask you. There are the things that we have that are the ALC philosophy. Did you that thing was useful for you? Did you apply sometimes or not at all?
I do apply from time to time. It's different because I don't have my own school. This is the thing which I didn't do, and maybe I should have, let's say, and and this would be very useful. But I'm using something.
But even you don't need to have your school. It's in your lessons. Remember that things of difficulties with some students that
this is the most. These are the things which I apply for sure, and I'm telling people that people are asking me, well, how do you do this? You work all day, you're tired, and then you go out at night because Kizomba lessons are also here pretty late. For you, it's not that late, 9:30. It's normal, but for us in Bulgaria, it's late.
Okay.
People are used to be earlier everything, and for us 9:30. And I say sometimes I'm really so, to be honest, FUCK up. And I said, oh no, I don't want to go. I'm feeling bad. I don't want to teach. I'm so down. But in the moment when I go in and I see the people and I see the expectation in their faces and also a smile, which people, because I have also the other kind, which are the opposite, but this pushes me up. And as soon as I play music, the first 8 counts, first 2 8 counts, it's everything goes away. So it fills me up. Maybe I feel more down after and stressed, but it's a nice feeling, let's say. So I go confident home, back home. That I've changed. People tell me, because also with the touch team for 5 years, people are so grateful now that we are doing it already 5 years. Nobody believed that it could be happen, that it could happen, that it could last. So
good.
yeah.
Right. Do you consider, you know, that we always say that we don't only teach how to dance, we teach how to live. And during these times that because of this, the pandemic, the COVID thing, people are getting crazy. And I think our mission is really to change that and to help people to getting better and better. How are the things there in Bulgaria in your lessons? Do you think that you improved a lot, and the tips that we gave to you and with your experience that helped you to manage the thing and to improve the way of how they live even these times that we are living?
Yeah, it was a tough period, let's say, in the first 2 3 months, because everything was shut down. Nobody knew what, but for Kizomba especially, it was pretty difficult, because Kizomba is a couple dance. You cannot do, for instance, bachata. Now I'm doing only shines, and from time to time we do dance in couple. But basically, Kizomba, you cannot do shines. You can do a warm-up, you can do small things, maybe a little bit of styling, but this is it. You can do 2 3 lessons tops, but people want to dance. So it was really tough and difficult. So I had to quit Kizomba for more than 3 months even. And when the school opened, so we took measures for sure, and people came in and we asked if they have problem dancing together in a couple without changing. So we asked people to bring their own partner to come in a couple. And so we started. And with bachata, it was much easier. We did also online lessons with Zoom meetings. And as we are doing shines, it is easier, much easier. But it was a tough period, and people, as soon as I said, well, do you want to dance? They were just like, what? When?
Where?
When? Where?
We will do it online. We will do it online, please. Cannot we meet somewhere on a parking slot? And they said, no, not at all at the moment. But afterwards, we did it also in the parking slot.
Regarding the investment on the training, the KTT, we know that is not a cheap investment, and mainly there is an investment that it's even more expensive. That is our own time, because you need to use your time usually to travel to a place, in order that you need to stop your working, you need to stop your regular lessons, and you spend 5 days in a place to do an immersion. So this investment of time is quite big. But then extra, you have other investments: the price of the training, also the traveling, the staying, the food. So it's a quite big investment for some people, bigger investment than others, because I imagine that the person that comes to Portugal from New Zealand and from Australia, maybe it will be a little bit more than those that come from Lisbon. Yeah. But even though each one have their own life and their own investments, and it's a quite big investment, do you consider that it was worth it, that investment? Would you do it again?
Definitely. It's only at the moment, to be honest, it's only financial part that I cannot afford it at the moment. This is the thing. And definitely I would do the next levels for sure. but maybe next year. Let's hope.
Yeah, but that is not the point, because
yeah, but definitely I can
one...
agree. It's worth. It pays off. Maybe it doesn't pay off, let's say, in amount money, but it pays off in other things, like.
The fact is, this is the way that we think regarding the training. Of course, it's our perspective, but we also can talk as a student perspective when we buy other trainings for other situations. So in our point, as we share 4 months of teaching structured, so you have 16 lessons prepared step by step that you can immediately put in practice. Of course, you need to have students inside of your room, and this is a process that maybe doesn't start immediately. But if you have 6, 7, 8, 10 students in the first group paying 20 euros or 25 euros or 15 euros or whatever, even financially, fast you will recover the investment of your training. And of course, if you do good what you are doing, you have like side incomings, that is referentiation, because our students will be our best way of publicity. You can invest money in social media, you can invest money in outdoors, going to television, but still the best publicity are happy students that will talk good about your lessons and bring more people.
Yeah.
So we know about situations that after 1 month of teaching, they doubled the number of students because the students were so happy that they brought all the friends and all the family. So in somehow the payback comes quite fast. But then there is another thing. This is what we are evaluating now as a student. We are doing some trainings in digital marketing in order that we improve that skills. And nowadays you can find most of the material for free on YouTube, for example. You have a lot of tutorials of how to do everything on YouTube. But the thing is that you don't have a step-by-step. You don't have a structure. You don't have an order. You have random information.
Exactly.
You can get a step-by-step, but you need to waste a lot of time. You need to invest a lot of time to collect different material, to try to do something that after you will need to test, you need to develop new changes and go in that direction. So with this, when you do an investment on something, I see here 2 advantages, because you are paying, and as you pay, you commit more. Because if you get something for free, you will procrastinate more. You will take more time to take the action. And when you use your time and your money and your effort, naturally, you will be more committed. So here we have immediately a plus, because as you pay, you want to bring back the income. And second is the money that you will not pay by the time that you will not use. I don't know if this makes sense. So, for example, for us to create the structure of KTT that we shared, we took 10 years of research, of testing with our students, testing with our instructors to see how they teach to others and what were their difficulties. So we took 10 years to collect that program. And somebody in 24 hours of training in 5 days can have all that material in the same place. So if we place the investment of 10 years of work to 5 days of work, it's a lot of money. That is
definitely. No, it's amazing, because I know how much it takes to create, to develop, and to study something, and to make it and to bring it in the way structured like you did. Because I can imagine, I did a choreo of myself as well, for example, and I know how much time I spent, and I know how much time it took the others just to learn it and to perform it. And all the process, everything is, for instance, also after what you said, the main publicity. This pays off, because you can teach. I'm now from, let's say, a couple of years teaching by myself. I'm alone. So I do also the MEM part, and I have people still in my coming when I open a new beginners group. People, they told us to come here, or people who already know a little bit Kizomba because I see it from the first lesson already, and ask, "Have you danced?" Yes, but they told me that I can learn something from you, and so this is
That's
the
so
thing.
good.
This is what it pays off. So when you're digging and when you're improving yourself and you're investing time in yourself, this is what it pays off. And I do disagree that people say, you can find everything on the internet. You can look there and learn there. It doesn't cost you nothing. And I said, okay, go there.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And that's okay. For example, we are nowadays delivering a lot of quality content for free on internet. But the thing is, even myself, if I put myself outside and I go to collect the material that we deliver for free, I would not be able to structure that easily.
No.
So
Definitely
like
no.
insights that can open your mind, and sometimes when you place yourself in that learning situation, like open your brain and your perspective to remember about some things. So it's always positive to listen to free content. The ones that we are doing a training with a Brazilian guy in digital marketing, and we paid quite a big amount of money to do that, and still I'm consuming all the free material that he's delivering, extra the material that I'm studying that I paid for that. So it's a complement, and it's okay. One thing can complement the other, but the fact is that the big difference in paid material is that you will find a step by step of what to do it in a perfect structure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that perspective. The dog.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they finished rehearsing. So
The rehearsing. Okay, so good. Just
Okay.
two more things. Hello, how are you? Two more things. One is I would like you to imagine that you are selling the KTT, as a person that had the experience. What would be your advice for somebody that might be in an indecision position?
Well, definitely I would recommend it because it's something, even if people don't believe or they think they know everything, I say people can learn all their lives. So another perspective, another structure, another style is always something positive to know and to see. This is what I would say, because you have to be open-minded. This is the
Perfect.
main thing.
Thank you so much. Now, let's go a little bit to you. We like to use a metaphor that we call the ladder of dance, or the ladder of success, or the ladder of life. And usually we split that in three different ladders. The personal ladder, that is the one that is connected to relationship to others, with family, with friends, love relationship. The professional ladder, that is related to our profession, of course, and the ladder of I, that is about our self-improvement, okay? Inner improvement. And it's impressive how most of people doesn't think about the top of their ladders, where they want to go. And this is like the foundation to be able to get any place. It's almost like you want to travel to a place, and if you don't have a GPS or a map, it will be impossible to get there. So in order to get to a place, you need to put the coordinates on the GPS. And after, you can have different ways to get there. Okay, you can be in one direction, you have a construction, you need to go in another way, then it's raining and you have a flu, doesn't matter. So you have a lot of different ways to get there, but you need to have a final destination. And we would like to know, what is your big dream? Professionally speaking, and if possible, related to dance, of course, because we know that you have in two professions, but in the dance, you already talk about your own school. I don't know if that is a big dream. But
this is the dream, and this is the goal as well.
Good.
It is really. I have my dreams, and I had dream to become professional dancer, which I didn't manage to do. But let's say, something that started like a hobby in later years, mature years, let's say, this hobby became like work, because shortly as a hobby now I fulfilled one dream. I brought for the first time Alena Sterk in Bulgaria, and I did the touch team, which I founded really from nothing, from scratch, and it succeeded. I fulfilled my dream to become Kizomba teacher and attending the KTT training for first, because it was also a goal. And now I just climbing my ladder with my dreams shortly of forming and performing as well, and just hoping that one day I will have my school. This is
Okay,
all.
so at this moment you are working in in another school,
In
but
two schools, yeah.
in a partnership or rented studios.
One is in a partnership and another is rented studio.
So let me place the things like this. Did you draw already your school?
Yes.
In what sense? You made that already? You know how
I
many
made it
studios?
a couple of years ago already.
So nice.
Yeah, and I have also the plan how it should look like, and it was everything. It was a dream, really a real dream. Let's say,
Oh,
not a
nice.
dream. Yeah, and just I wrote some things down. I have just found this sheet of paper because I I was hiding it from myself, because I put it in a place and I said I will come to it at the time when I should.
So
So
you are in an advanced stage because you already draw your dream. We
yeah,
truly believe, because this happened to us also, that in order to materialize, first you need to pass it to the paper. You need to visualize, you need to pass it to the paper with the most single details that you can. Number of studios, number of students, how many disciplines, how many lessons per week, how many instructors you will have, what are the colors of the walls, what are the name of the school, will you have a place for parking, you will have good access by public transportation, it will be in the
definitely.
city center, it will be in a countryside. So all that details need to be written down in order that you can start drawing your ladder. And usually, like you were saying regarding your days that you don't have the will to teach, that this first step to go to the school and enter the room, it's the most difficult one. And
Exactly.
this is the same in everything in our life. Usually the first step is
It's
higher than the others. It's more
yeah,
difficult to
it's
climb
the
it. But
hardest one.
in the moment that you enter in that path, everything starts becoming easier and easier.
Yeah.
So what do you think that could be the next step to be able to go in the direction of your dream?
Well, I'm going, to be honest, because I have it now. The positive thing about this Corona time and this isolation time is because you got the time to go into yourself, to have the time to think, because to think, to imagine, and to draw the things, and to write down, and to talk also to people. And even though I was searching, I was doing my things, let's say so, in
Yeah.
this direction. And it's just, I think it's a matter of time. I don't know how much. I don't push and press myself. And I hope it will be, I think I'm on the right path.
Do you already have the name?
I'm choosing about two names.
Okay.
It's something, it's a mixture. I
Yeah,
want
you
to
don't need
say,
to say. You don't need to say. It's good if you have already something that you already wrote and you already have this idea. Will you wanted to do it alone or in partnership with somebody?
I wanted to do it alone, to be honest. I have
Nice,
enough
perfect.
of partnerships. But no, something also in my private life changed earlier. unexpected. So I think it will be positive thing, maybe also in a partnership.
Good.
No, nice.
I feel a man in the area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you know that it's, of course, partnership in business, it's like weddings. It's complicated, but it makes all the sense. And we need to go through the time. And for us personally, it was a huge difference when we made this partnership with our business partner at the moment, João Paulo, because he was mastering something that we didn't master at all. That was the business part of our business. We had the technical part, but we didn't have the management part of the business. And taking this kind of collaboration, of course, it's a process. We need to learn how to deal with each other, understand what are the good things and the bad things, exactly as a wedding, exactly the same. And like the weddings, there are weddings that work and others that not. And partnerships, business partnerships are the same. Of course, this also will depend on the size of your ladder. If you will to have something like cozy, just with a single room, you have the girls there teasing you.
Yeah, the man went out, the girls remained. So
get crazy. Hello, girls. So, and you can start slow, as you never had an experience of your own school. Maybe it's a good thing to start alone, to feel the difficulties, and after to be able to grow in a different direction with some partnerships. But I would like to leave this live of today with a commitment. And maybe the commitment is for you to find the papers that you already wrote.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be nice now.
You have an idea where are they?
I think yes, but as I'm renovating my whole home since 3 months already, 4 actually. It started like cosmetic one and it became a ground one.
So we're gonna have here a commitment, okay? You're gonna commit with us that till the end of the week, so today it's Wednesday, you have Thursday and Friday to find that papers. Okay? And when you find them, you will just take a picture and upload and post like a story or whatever and tag us saying, I found the papers. So we know that way that you gave your first step. Okay?
Definitely. Okay.
So we're gonna wait for that, and we hope that you commit, and this small push that we are giving to you will help a lot to you to go in the direction of your dreams, and we wish you all the best to that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inspiring me and be like you are.
Thank you. And just to say, we have some people doing comments here. We had Joanna saying that you are a very good teacher. I didn't know if you saw. We have Ricardo Moedo saying hello to his bachata teacher. That it's you. we have also Rams that is from Venezuela, and he was saying some nice things here from the things that when we buy something, we are more committed, agreeing with us. And he was saying also when with this pandemic, the world was moving too fast, now is moving slow, big time for learning. It's completely true. Now it's just to say thank you to Rams. Today he gave us a tip, very nice tip that we are using, and I'm saying thank you to him, that it was very, very nice.
Muchas gracias, Rams.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Yeah.
Okay.
So finish because you need to go to your girl. Ciao, girl.
And I'm waiting for me.
Yes, just to finish, last 30 seconds, just leave a message for the people that are listening to us and those that will listen to us after.
So people, learn from the best, first master the rules, then break them. This is the things.
Thank you so much, Alena. We're gonna wait for your posts and tagging us to find that paper, and crossing fingers for you, and hope to see you soon here in Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope so.
Beijing. Bye bye.
Thank you. Besitos,
Bye bye.
Rams. Ciao.
Ciao.